Hi everyone, thank you very much for having me today. I'm not going to lie, I'm really exhausted today, so I'm going to try my best to deliver this the best I can. Those of you in the room that know me, I absolutely love this product. I've seen with my own eyes now for 2 years this being implemented on sites all around the south of England. It's really getting traction now. I think if I give you some kind of basic stats, I'm going a bit off topic already, by the way, but I'll give you a couple of quick stats. If you look at the size of our fire business, I would say now 35 to 40% of everything we are quoting is self-test. It's gone from nothing to that in 2 years. So it's really, really making an impact. One thing I just wanted to quickly, a little bonus thing for everyone. Who knows about this standard? Just give me a quick hands up. If you don't, I'm not surprised. Very few people know about this. I think you guys know a little bit about it because I've talked to you about it. Just honestly, just hands up quickly. Has anyone seen BS 8644? Okay, so I'll give you a really quick overview. This came out after Grenfell. This was all about being able to prove what happens in a fire alarm's life from the beginning to the end. And these are the kind of things that I just wanted to make you all aware of. It's really valuable information. Am I compliant? And the key one, are the people I'm responsible, let's take this building today, whoever is responsible has to make sure we're safe in this building today. Are my records accurate? Grenfell, we all know. No, they weren't. No one could prove anything. And then the last one, again, Grenfell related. Do I have easy access to reports and historical data? And it's all about the golden thread. And like I said to you, this is not particularly formed part of what I wanted to talk to you today, but I thought you're all a captive audience, so I'm going to give you a quick overview of it. But we're looking now at, right at the beginning, when we're putting a project together, we want to capture all that information. When we're constructing the building, we want to capture it. We want to hand over the asset in use and asset end of life. And what we want to do is we want to put a digital process in place where we capture all that information. But we'll go on to that. So, CLSS forms part of self-test. This is our cloud platform. And I'm going to give you something very, very simple to look at here. If you look after a portfolio of buildings, what are the key things you think you should be able to see? To me, faults. We've got 67 buildings. Let's say some of you in this room have 30 buildings that you're responsible for. Wouldn't it be great for you to go to one place and be able to see that I've currently got 13 faults across my portfolio, 6 buildings with disablements? That's a big problem, by the way, disablements. I'll tell you all now, so many buildings have disablements. You go back to the person responsible, they don't know why they've got them anymore, but they're there. So we want to give you this information. And if I told you, which I won't talk about today, if I told you the cost, how inexpensive it is to put this system in, you'll all run to the stage and give me an order now. I guarantee it, okay? So but the part why I want you to see this is the backbone of self-testing technology. When we put a self-testing detector on the ceiling, it will not work without this platform because we want to capture the information as we go through it. So let's go through some of the details. I probably, by the end of this presentation, forget to tell you all what self-test is, so I better quickly cover it. You will understand at the moment, when an engineer arrives at your building, they come in with a smoke pole, right? You've all probably seen it. They put a smoke pole up to the detector, and sometimes they can get to it, sometimes they can't. What we've done is we've developed a tiny little module about this big that goes in the smoke detector, and it generates smoke and heat inside the detector. So when an engineer arrives on site now, instead of going to his van and getting a smoke pole out, gets his phone out and connects to that platform that I showed you before and starts the process of testing. So if we go through kind of some of the key points, it's innovative, right? Nothing innovative generally happens in the fire alarm industry. I know this because I work in the industry. There's been nothing particularly cool or fun to talk about since we launched this 2 years ago. Digital transformation and smarter buildings. I will tell you all now, I have never in my life seen such an emphasis on people wanting to invest in making their buildings smart. This is the way it's going now, whether we like it or not. I was over in the city this morning, I met 2 end users of some of the very big buildings over there. All they want to talk to me about is how do we smarten up our buildings with this technology. So this is the way it's going. So we're transitioning to coming onto a building and using our phones for everything. Manual, gone, forget it. Still going to happen occasionally, but this is what we're doing. So let me quickly talk to you about some of the benefits of self-test. So you all understand the principle, right? We're automating the testing process, yeah? And you can ask questions at the end if you want to know any more. And by the way, if you ever want any demos, we can arrange demos for you. It's absolutely fine. Compliance Plus. What do you all know in the room? How many times are you meant to test a smoke detector a year? Some of you will know. Once, yeah? That's the law, okay? You must test it once. Now, why would you not test it more than once? I'll just answer the question. Cost. You're not going to pay for your service and maintenance provider to come in, and you're not going to pay them double, 3 times, 4 times, right? You might want to test more, but you can't afford it. No one can afford it. So if I told you that an average engineer can test between 80 and 100 detectors a day with a smoke pole, that's pretty much it, okay? We know this because we talk to all our partners. That's about right. If I told you that self-test, if you put it in this building here, for example, and let's say you had 1,000 detectors, they would all test in an hour. Okay, so that's 10 days labor reduced to 1. But we're not here to talk purely about labor savings because we want that engineering resource to do other things. But my thought process I wanted to explain to you all is, why would you then not test more than once if you can? So test every quarter. And I'll give you an example, a real-world example. I'm working really, really closely with the NHS. They have stipulated they want quarterly testing as long as they deploy this technology. Okay, and it makes sense, right? We make the building safer. Now, the next two, really, really important for you, in case any of you are not understanding the fire alarm, kind of the way it works, but when an engineer currently turns up on a site, he turns off the fire alarm while he's working on it. You're all aware of that, right? Maybe not the whole system, but maybe a zone, a loop. So what does that do? We increase risk, right? It's very simple. There's no way around it. We increase risk. So at this point, if I told you, if you deploy self-test throughout a building, you never have to isolate it, ever. We test the system live. So as each detector goes round, testing itself, it goes offline for 1 minute. I don't need to tell you all, that makes your building safer. Now, of course, there's a slight caveat to that, and I've experienced this recently where some sites want to only deploy self-test in some areas. Unfortunately, I will be practical about this, then you still have to isolate the system. So the best, lowest risk way of doing this, deploy it everywhere. Then you get the maximum efficiency for whichever building we're talking about, okay? Access and impact. I mean, I could talk to you a long, long time. Let's give you some practical examples. So we maybe have to get access equipment in to get up to something, right? We might have to get a ceiling contractor in to get into voids. We might have a hall with detectors very high. We might need to build a scaffold. If we deploy self-testing technology, we start removing costs for end users. Very, very simple. And we're proving this time and time again. And every building is different, okay? And then, of course, we've got efficiency, sustainability. First time fix. The screen I showed you before with the cloud platform, before an engineer arrives on site, they know what the problem is. So they come to the site and they're already aware what they're going to do. Big tick box, right? So we're making ourselves more efficient. So I don't need to dwell on this one. That's what we do now, right? That's what we do. It's what we've always done. But we want to change that. So we want to change the functional to 10%. But what we want to start doing now, we want to start paying attention to what's going on in our building, looking for non-compliances. So start deciding maybe that detector's too close to that air conditioning unit, whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. That's what we're trying to shift the focus on now. We're giving time back for more important things. And that was just a little idea I had. I mean, at the moment, you may need 2 people. So if we walk through a floor, we might not be able to get into a room, it's locked, someone's in there, whatever it might be. So what do? We skip it. Well, with self-test, guess what? We're in a situation where you're guaranteed to test 100% of everything, even if you can't see it. No other system can do that. Full stop. No one can do it. And I'll tell you all now, if you can guarantee to prove that every detector works in your building, but you can't see it, I'd much rather be in that situation as a building owner than not be able to test it and keep skipping it for whatever reason. And I'm not going to dwell on this slide because I go on, and otherwise the guys are going to be like, Mark, we need to wrap up. But look, hard to access, chaperone costs. These are the kind of things I want you to start having a quick think about. What number would you put against some of these things? Chaperone. I know for a fact student accommodation is one of my huge growth areas at the moment. Absolutely huge. And we know, because of legalities and things, they often need chaperones. Engineers need chaperones, basically. So if we could remove that because the engineers don't need to go and disturb anyone, tick box, right? So just trying to get everyone to think a little bit differently. Void access, I was in a site the other week. They spend £12,000 a year to get specialist ceiling contractors in to get into the ceilings. Seriously, it's a fact. So we can eliminate that. I'll give you another little idea to think about, going a little bit naughty, but I'll give you something to think about. The NHS have basically said, if we don't issue a permit to go into that ceiling area, we're happy for no visual inspection to take place because we know nothing will have happened up there. They're willing to go down that road, providing self-testers up there. So we have less disruption, okay? Just little things to think about. And then we can have ladders, scaffold, out-of-hours testing is a huge one. What if you could have an engineer, and I bring my phone out as my little prop again, an engineer's going to walk around. It's discreet, right? We're just walking around doing everything on our phone. Another little thing I forgot to tell you is every detector has Bluetooth in it. So as you get closer to the detector, that comes to the top of the list. It's really smart technology, and we can test cause and effect. We can do all sorts of clever things through it. Firewatch, multi-sensor. I tell you now, a lot of people do not test the heat as well as the smoke. But we test both in a minute. Start adding up some little things like detector masking. No other system on the market today can tell you if a detector is covered. Ours does. Self-test, if it's covered, intentionally or unintentionally, and I'll show you a great slide in a minute, will basically report that it's masked. Makes your building safer again, right? We're trying to make we're de-risking. Two-person testing we've covered, and then these are all that we've covered that. I'm not going to go into that, so that's all fine. If you're interested, I'm not going to dwell too much on this. We can model this for you now, very definitively. We can model it. ROI, return on investment. Nobody talks about how much will that system cost me over its lifespan. All anyone's interested in doing is talking about what's the cheapest price I can put this system in for? So I want to change the conversation now. Okay, it will cost X to install, commission, put it on the ceiling, but what would it cost you over the lifespan of the system? So just again, have a think about that. This, I can prove to you all day long, this will save you money. Quite significant in some occasions. So now, the fun part, I'll give you a few real-world examples here. Some of you in the room, I know, have seen, but I have put a few new ones in, okay? So Royal Academy of Music, so many music rooms. Music room after music room after music room. No surprise, right? Royal Academy of Music. But they had to do all their testing out of hours. Now, an engineer can walk down the corridor, do all his testing in hours. Big tick box. And by the way, they test more than once a year. That's what they wanted. They do twice. Not everyone wants to do 4, so that's absolutely fine. This, I don't need to keep this a secret anymore. This is Deutsche Bank's old HQ, which is now being converted into very high-end offices in London, just down the road. This is probably the most interesting, win I got last year. This was nothing to do with maintenance. This was all about commissioning savings. We're probably going to end up with about 5,000 or 6,000 detectors in this building. So the M&E contractor was interested very much in using CLSS, which I showed you, the cloud platform, how that makes the commissioning really, really efficient. Okay, so just something to think about. Don't always have to go on, how's it going to help us on the maintenance? It could be the early start. We want to make the handover quicker and easier. And then this is a great example of a brand, and again, brand new. This has not even been built yet, but this is all secured with self-test. And again, this is mixed. So this is residential and commercial. So we've got the perfect storm there of issues. How do we maintain this building going forward? Don't have to worry now. We can guarantee to functionally test everything. And then this, again, one of my, this is a brilliant one. This is one of my best examples. 1,000 void detectors in this, but you guys know what that is. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not meant to tell you where it is, but you can quite clearly read the sign on the wall, right? But okay, it's JP Morgan, right? But I mean, they've agreed that we can talk about it a bit. So this is their campus down in Bournemouth. 1,000 void detectors. 1,000. Imagine the upheaval and the time to test 1,000 voids. Now it's all automated. Massive, massive win for them. And they're now rolling this out nationally, by the way. The story goes on. I told you all, I've never seen anything quite like it. This is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Right, you all know about this very nice hotel. Not too far from here, right? So just to give you a quick example, yes, the maintenance was the important part. It was all about discretion. They just wanted an engineer walking around with their phone. It's as simple as that. And they want to test more than once a year. So massive tick box. That's installed now in the new part, which they built behind, and the other part will be closed shortly for refurbishment. Ali, there we go. You recognise this site, don't you? So this site is, I'm allowed to mention it, Ali? Yeah, University of Bath. This has not got, just to be fully transparent with everyone, this has not got self-test throughout, but this is a big gent site. I think we said there was like 80,000 something devices across this campus. It's huge, absolutely huge. But they, just thinking soon I'll be able to put another one up there. But yeah, so basically, but they've deployed it in student accommodation. So you're seeing the theme here, anywhere where it's hard, tricky to kind of get to. So that's being done there. And this is, I could do you 4 or 5 slides like this, listing. I'm just currently closing a deal with NHS Property Services. Every single site around the UK over the next 10 years will have CLSS rolled out. And guess what? Compliance. Compliance, 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 compliance. Can't talk about it enough. But on top of that, all these big hospitals as well are all buying into this because it's a no-brainer. And I want to stress this to everyone in the room. There really is there's nothing not to like about this. It solves so many problems. So, and here we go. I promised you a good one. This, I couldn't have made this up. Honestly, I promise you, this was literally like, I was there. This was the day after the self-test system was installed. The day after that detector was put up in swing. This is LSE. They don't mind me talking about it. London School of Economics. We ran self-test, and it picked up that that detector was covered. So I'm not just telling you it will. It does do what I'm telling you it will do. Okay. So we're talking about de-risk here. Yeah. Now, interesting enough, you want to do more anti-masking tests. That's coming soon. You'll be able to do anti-masking whenever you like. But again, that, and by the way, they are rolling that everywhere. I mean, everywhere at the moment. So 6 minutes, okay. So I'm nearly done, you'll be pleased to know, okay? So these are just a few kind of key messages. So I think the first one is really, really important. Invest slightly more up front, but if you let me show you how that will save money for you over 14 years, I guarantee everyone in the room, I will show it to you very, very clearly how this will work for you. And the uplift, by the way, is not as much as you think it is. It really, really isn't. Connected products, so we're looking at asset. Asset, compliance, I keep talking about compliance. BS 8644, put a CLSS box on the wall next to your fire alarm system. Shouldn't cost you more than £2,500 to have anyone in this room who's with andwis to put that on the wall for you, and you will get 8644 compliance. And I tell you now, there's not one company, any of these end users in London that I go to see that you don't get an order straight away at the end because it's a no-brainer. We're consistently talking about compliance. Redeploy resource, we've talked a bit about that. We're freeing up time to do other things. And I'll give you another little quick insight, since I've got 4 minutes. Everyone complains in the industry we haven't got enough engineers. That's a fact. So if we can help redeploy resource, big tick box, okay? And then reduce impact on business productivity. Again, I've covered that in my previous slides. And then achieve undisputable proof of compliance and safety. Have you noticed how much I said compliance today? But I'm telling you now, it's the buzzword, and we need to take note of it. And then increase sustainability. That's a byproduct of everything we've talked about today. There we go. Thank you very much.
Insightful, right? Quite exciting as well. I've seen Mark do that presentation before, and it's even more excitable the second time I've seen it. So unsurprisingly, we've had a few questions, and they're exactly the ones that I would expect. So you may have covered it towards the end there, but the compatibility of retrofitting this into existing systems. Are there systems that are non-Honeywell, again, that they can make it compatible with? It doesn't need rewiring, it's just head changes, panels.
Yeah.
Does it still keep that cost-effective?
Yeah. Not self-test, but CLSS. So if you want the compliance part, you can put the black box, which is about the size of an iPad, next to an advanced panel. Kentech, I think, I need to talk to the Kentech guys, but yeah, we've done some work on that. Morley, Notifier, Gent. Yeah, we've got options. We've got options. Yeah.
So retrofitting is a big part.
Yeah, huge. And that's why I'm trying to get the point across. For a couple of grand, you can bring yourself up to this kind of standard. It's a no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. Yeah.
Good. Can it detect contamination, and also does it record the age at the point of install?
It does record the age, so CLSS captures all that information. So you could drill down into any detector and it will tell you the age. You can, Gent's the one exception in the industry, you can run a full age report and it'll give you a pie chart of the age of every single device in your system. And by the way, Gent's 14 years versus everyone else's 10. That's the guidance. So you get an extra 4 years out of it. So yes is the answer.
Good. Any other questions at all for Mark? One here.
Mark, probably should know this already, but
That's right.
the 14 years, is that based on 4 tests a year, 2 tests a year?
Yeah, based on
What
four.
numbers? On 4.
On self-test. But when I talk about the 14 years, the age profile of Gent, the FIA recommend 10 years to replace smoke detectors. We say 14 in Gent. But interesting enough, in our sister brand Notifier, we say 10. But for self-test, it's designed to be tested 4 times a year for 14 years. But carry honestly, it will do double that.